Hello again, basketball fans, and welcome back to Tiger Network. What an incredible day we had yesterday. 4 great quarterfinals, and now it is semifinals Saturday, starting off with the classic Seguin-San Antonio showdown. That's right, Texas Lutheran, the number 4 seed, facing the host Trinity Tigers, coming in today as the number 1 seed in the tournament. The teams are ready for tip-off. Ashlyn, Milton, Taylor Skirka shake hands and are ready to jump with the ball. I'm Brian Yanselson, joined by Reed Rosales, pumped up for another great day of SCAC basketball, with the tip going to Maggie Robbins. Josie Napoli won't waste any time. Her 3 bounces out, and the board goes to Kaylee Lacey, and Kaylee Mulkey gets to run quickly. Steal by Ashlyn Milton. Maggie Shipley has open floor ahead of her, but she has the ball knocked away by Kaylee Mulkey. And already, before we can even catch our breath, we're seeing the type of pace that the Trinity Tigers want to play.
Yeah, and the big thing we're going to watch out for in this game is, can TLU slow down the pace of the Tigers like they did last time they played them in Calgard?
For Texas Lutheran, it is Lauren Sansano, Sydney Shaw, Taylor Skirka, Kaylee Mulkey, and Kaylee Lacey as the starting 5. We have a little bit of a delay here as they figure out the clock. For Trinity, it's Josie Napoli, Maggie Robbins, Addie Putnam, Ashlyn Milton, and Maggie Shipley, which is certainly notable because Maggie Shipley had been on the bench for 15 straight games, coming in as a substitute. But she started senior night against Southwestern, and now she is back in the starting lineup for Coach Cam Hill and the Tigers. And there's Maggie Robbins getting things going quickly. And a quick correction, we were given the starting lineup, and it had Maggie Shipley in there, but Claire Hale there in her place. So Coach Hill sticking with the lineup that we've seen so often here on Tiger Network. Taylor Skirka will draw the contact from Addie Putnam and shoot a pair.
Yeah, Maggie Shipley subbed within the first 30 seconds for Claire Hale there. We're going to see a lot of shifting and substituting from both teams as they utilize their depth to try and outpace the other team.
See the quick pace even catching me early. So much going on everywhere. Thanks for catching that, Reed. TLU ties it up at 2. Just a minute gone by inside Calgard. Claire Hale bounces it down, gets it over to Robbins. Now swung across the arc to Milton. Milton knocks down the 3. And that is something the Tigers want to see. They were just 5 of 25 from distance against TLU a week ago. Escaping that one with a 2-point win. It took a Maggie Robbins layup with 3 seconds left to win, and there's a Maggie Robbins block. The stat sheet stuffer adding a block to her name early.
Yeah, stat sheet stuffer, one of the first Trinity players in a little over 20 years to get a triple-double. She is really a player who can do everything on the court.
TLU gets it outside to Sansano. A spin guarded by Robbins. Able to get it over her, but it bounces out. A missed shot from Sansano, who then fights for it, but gets it right to Robbins. Intercepted by Shaw, and here come the Bulldogs the other way. Mulkey will slow it down now. The Bulldogs coming off a win in the first round against Dallas. That one hits the back of the backboard and will head Trinity's way.
And we've got a good crowd here today. It seems we got some people with noisemakers in the stands.
Yeah, we have some thunder sticks in the student section. Because one thing that was noticeably absent on Tiger Network yesterday were Trinity Tigers. Both the men's and women's teams getting the first round bye. So now on the semifinal Saturday, the maroon and white are back on their home court. The Tigers turn it over, though, here as the Bulldogs will inbound it. And the first time we really get to see the full court press and the problems it can create. These Trinity Tigers force 31.5 turnovers a game. That is not only best in the conference, that is 3rd most in the country. So keep your eyes on this press. Sansano trying to get around Robbins. Now she's trapped, and it goes to Robbins. She has some room to work. Now backs it out to Putnam. Napoli, a jab step, uses the screen from Claire Hale, gets to the rim, and that's a lot of contact to send Napoli to the line.
And if you're Trinity here, you want to start outpacing the Bulldogs early. You can see what the Bulldogs can do like they did in that round 1 game against Dallas. If TLU gets ahead of you, they have a good enough defense to stifle even the most explosive offenses.
And a laugh there from Josie Napoli as she gets the good roll. She's a 90% free throw shooter. That one perfectly clean down the net. And it's a 7-2 lead for Trinity with 7:29 to go in the first quarter. Just getting going. There's going to be another turnover at the moment, but then Sansano comes from behind. She has a fast break now, and she takes care of it. So what looked to be another Trinity forced steal turns into 2 points for Texas Lutheran.
Yeah, good initiative by Sansano, getting that bucket, keeping TLU on pace with Trinity in scoring.
Addie Putnam in the corner, looks for Robbins. Now Milton from nearly the same spot. Same result for Ashlyn Milton. No one does it better than Ashlyn Milton from the three-point line. And there she forces a held ball that will go to TLU, but the aggressiveness is there for the Tiger defense.
Black ball.
Lacey dealing with Hale as she tries to send it in. Sansano, that's a tough corner to be stuck in. She has Napoli and Hale around her. The ball goes out of bounds, sticking with TLU, but now they have 4 seconds to get it across the timeline.
Yeah, and you are seeing the full court press take its full effects here. It's going to be a very difficult game for TLU offensively because of how effective this full court press is from the Tigers.
And they'll just take one step at a time. Will the Bulldogs? That one tipped out on that attempt. Sansano has it ripped from behind. Hale gathers it. Robbins underneath, and Napoli spots up. Rolls off the rim. The rebound fought for, and gonna go to Trinity. Angelina Sotelo will check in for Lacey. One of the first times we've seen Troy Patterson not elect to go to a full 5 change. She still has the starter Mulkey in there along with Sansano, but we do have Daviana Jones along with Denise Merrig. As Coach Troy Patterson in his second year with the Bulldogs as head coach, after 4 as an assistant, goes to his full roster. Coach Patterson telling me after the game in the post-game interview at this SCAC Championships that his team is feeling good. They think they can beat Trinity. Already held them to a 2-point win. Ashlyn Milton puts up a 3 that's too strong this time. Merrick clears the glass. And Sotelo trying to weave through the press. Does over to Sansano. Thought about stepping up. Now a little more forward. Knocks it down for 2. The freshman Lauren Sansano from right here in San Antonio has impressed all season long, especially of late, and she continues to do so. Hale double teamed, and Sotelo has it. Bulldog going the other way, and Sansano has nothing but the bucket up front of her. Lauren Sansano is dominating early for the Bulldogs. Hale goes the other way. She takes care of it. And don't blink, folks. It'll go quickly. 12-8 Trinity with 4 minutes gone by.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do if you're the Bulldogs. One of the downsides of the full court press is that sometimes someone can slip through and be completely open on the other side of the court.
Putnam loses control for a moment. Now stuck at the half-court line. TLU wanted a turnover. They don't get it. Napoli cuts in. Nice jab step. Can't finish, but gets her own miss, and it'll stick around with the maroon and white. Here comes Maggie Shipley now in for Claire Hale. A dynamic duo at that big position as Claire Hale gets a big round of applause. Robbins shoots it into Shipley. And here is number 44, who very much acts like a point guard despite being 6 foot tall. Robbins cuts in, uses the glass, and gets it to go. Maggie Robbins, throughout her entire career, has looked to pass first. She's averaging nearly 5 assists this year, but she has also taken a massive step, scoring herself, saying, I can do it too, and boy, has she done that. She has scored double digits in 11 games this year. To go along with that triple-double you mentioned, Reed, also a double-double. She can just about do it all. Knocks down the free throw to complete the three-point play, and it's a 7-point Trinity lead with 5 minutes left. The overhead pass is nowhere near the Bulldogs, and that'll be turnover number 6.
And this TLU defense, it's one of the best in the conference. It's the best in the conference in points allowed per game, and they're going to need this for a Trinity team that scored 125 on Southwestern.
There's another triple for Ashlyn Milton. She's on fire. Double team switches on Sansano. Bulldogs struggling. Now they have some momentum headed the other way. Sansano stops in her tracks, and she's fouled. You see how hard the Bulldogs have to work just to get it across, and it's a 10-point Trinity lead with 4:44 to go in the first quarter as we reach the first media timeout. An 8-0 run for Trinity. Their defense looks on point, and Ashlyn Milton looks like she's going to have one of those days.
It really does. She definitely did on senior night against Southwestern. All the seniors did. They scored 125, and the Bulldogs, the day before, held them to just 61, and right now, they're already a third of the way to that mark, and it's not even the end of the first quarter.
Ashlyn Milton, the senior from Amarillo, Texas, broke the record for three-pointers made all time in Trinity women's basketball. She had 216 coming into this game, now already at 219. So not only did she break the record, but she is actively rewriting history with every three that she makes.
Yeah, she's a record breaker, and one of the things you can't take away from a player once they step away is that record, and she'll hold that for a very long time.
For Texas Lutheran, that defense you talked about, it absolutely stymied a Dallas offense that is one of the better ones in the conference. They put up a ton of threes, but yesterday only scoring 54 points. Texas Lutheran has held 18 opponents to fewer than 60 points. On the other side, Trinity has never scored fewer than 60 points, but the closest they came was the 61 that they scored against this Texas Lutheran defense. So it very much is strength against strength, offense against defense. Who will pull through? And early on, it's looking like the Trinity offense is high flying. Morado newly into the game. Sansano going around the screen now, pops up from three, wide left for her. Here goes Shipley, drops it off for Napoli before faking the screen. Now errant pass that leaves Sansano with another open lane, but she can't finish. Lauren Sansano slaps the floor. She can't believe it. Had no one in front of her within a mile. And to beat the #1 team in this tournament, you cannot miss these bunnies. Coach Patterson subs her out, and you can't see it on your screen right now, but had a deep conversation with #5, the freshman, who has just been so good for TLU this year. She is incredibly capable, so he's just making sure that she understands that that's going to happen. That's a mistake, and you'll get past it. Still very much in this game. TLU turns it over right along the Trinity sideline, though, and these Tigers are fired up. This is a Trinity team that for a moment was the #1 team in the country. They won 20 in a row before falling to Colorado College on the road. But that loss, more than anything, has ignited a fuse under them that other teams simply have to watch out for, because now they are playing with an energy that is unmatched. Annika Saenz finds Shipley. She makes a move in the post, is blocked, but recovers. Now Annika Saenz from the corner hits the rim, so the shot clock resets, but it won't matter as TLU gets the board. Sky O'Rourke working with Shipley to tie up the Bulldogs, and that will belong to Trinity.
Yeah, very, very smart play there. It gets Trinity another chance to put more points on the board and expand on their 10-point lead.
Juliana Tapia subs in for Sotelo. Kayla Presley in there with Jones and Merrick. Robinson Milton, the lone starter, still in there for Trinity. So much off-ball movement for the Tigers, and a foul away from the ball as that movement takes place. It's going to be a foul against Texas Lutheran that are going to start to rack up. Third team foul with 3:14 to go. Trinity up 10, and the Bulldogs haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Shipley says, I'm scoring plenty. Uses the glass to help her out. And now O'Rourke and Shipley try to trap Tapia, and she is trapped, loses the dribble, has nowhere to go. Milton taps it out. It'll stick around with the black and gold, though.
Yeah, 10-0 run right now for Trinity. If you're the Bulldogs, kind of feels like you really need to score here right now to stop the waterfall of points that's coming from the Tigers.
TLU always plays Trinity tough. The games this year in Seguin and in San Antonio were neck and neck for the most part, including the one here that was a nail-biter. But the Tigers have come out with energy. Denise Merrick, though, tries to quiet down the crowd and pump up her Bulldog fans. A good showing from Seguin, just 30 minutes away from their home campus, so lots of black and gold in the stands. Annika Saenz cuts in. Robbins swings it over to Shipley. Shipley goes left, now spins around. Robbins puts up the three off the back of the rim. O'Rourke taps it out, but Presley's right there. Presley navigates the press. Daviana Jones straight ahead for Presley. Rattles out. Robbins clears it. Fired into O'Rourke. She can't get the layup to go. And Merrick has two Tigers on her looking for help. Finds it in the form of Morado, who's now going to have to deal with O'Rourke and Anderson. Loses the dribble. Merrick holds on to it, and now Tapia backs it out. Presley open once again. This time it's drained. Kayla Presley, the sophomore from Kyle, Texas. TLU back within 7. O'Rourke has a lane, goes around Merrick, and Jones comes from behind to knock it away.
It's a big moment for TLU here. They've cut the lead back down into single digits. If you can stop the Tigers from scoring here and get more points on the board for yourselves, you can shift the momentum in your favor.
Saenz spinning inside. O'Rourke, the mid-range look off the side of the rim. So the Tigers have missed their last few shots, letting TLU hang around in the first quarter. Presley, a pump fake, now steps in to Brianna Wilson. She moves him out of the way, but an offensive foul called with it. She was trying to establish room, and the official saw that as a foul. One minute left in the first quarter. Trinity 20, TLU 13. The Bulldogs are shooting 50% from the floor, but it's 9 turnovers that has hurt them as Maddie Mueller's 3 off. Bulldogs running, but there's 4 Tigers there and poked from behind by Saenz. So it'll stay with TLU. We'll get a look at the replay. A collision there with Mueller. Wilson won't grab hold of this one. TLU turnover number 10. So they have as many turnovers as they do shots attempted, and that's precisely why they're down 7 in this first quarter.
Yeah, and when you're playing a team that is as good as Trinity, you have to limit your turnovers because a team like Trinity will take advantage of them.
Shipley surveying her options. Drops it off for Sky O'Rourke. Posts up for a moment. Now Shipley from deep. Rattles home! Maggie Shipley has the best three-point percentage of her career as a senior. She is more confident than ever, and she shows it there. But a Sky O'Rourke foul with 10 seconds to go will slow things down for TLU. They'll still have to bring it in from the baseline. Ball is loose, and it belongs to the Tigers.
We'll see if the Tigers choose to take the last shot of the first quarter here with 9.5 seconds left.
Tapia taking a tumble before the pass could be brought in, so an offensive foul called on Trinity as we go back and forth on who gets to bring the ball in. That's the first foul against Annika Signs. Sotelo gets it to Daviana Jones, who can run it down by herself, but it's knocked from behind. It'll stay with TLU, but we are seeing, even when you think a play is done, don't close your eyes because the hands are active from both teams. Bulldogs have just a couple to put it up. Jones goes to her left. It's not going to fall. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Trinity 23, Texas Lutheran 13, the #1 seed, making a statement early on against the 4-seeded Bulldogs.
Yeah, and for Trinity, a 10-point lead is pretty big considering how good this TLU defense is. And right now, if you're TLU, you need to fix the turnover situation and start getting points on the board and taking advantage of Trinity's mistakes.
For Texas Lutheran, it's a team that came into the tournament feeling really good about themselves and where they stood. They defeated Colorado College immediately after Colorado College had just defeated Trinity at home. So for Texas Lutheran, that was a huge boost to say, hey, we can beat anyone in this conference. Then they followed it up with a trip to San Antonio that we've already described, losing by only 2 points to the Tigers in their home gym. And then the very next day, they lost once again by 2 points to Schreiner. Those are the #1, 2, and 3 seeds in this tournament. And Coach Patterson has told us they feel good because they have taken the top 3 teams in the conference all the way to the end. There's no reason why his Bulldogs can't come over that hump. Early on, they took a barrage from Trinity. They held on a little bit there at the end. They're down 10, but still a lot of room to work with if you're TLU.
Yeah, and it's got to have such a great psychological boost to beat Colorado College, who beat Trinity up in Colorado, to know that you can beat the team that beat Trinity. Well, we should be able to beat Trinity then.
He also said a loss early in the year to a Division I team, Incarnate Word, only lost by 8 to that program, showed the team at the beginning of the season that they could truly hang with anyone. And that's something Coach Cam Hill said on the Trinity side, is that if you put this TLU team against most, they will hang around because of how tough their defense is. So this game is not over by any means. The Bulldogs have shown that plenty of times. Wilson doubled, knocks Robbins down to the ground, and then a double dribble is going to be called as Presley tried to get to the basket. Shipley spins out to Napoli. That's a Napoli 3.
Yeah, big 3 from Napoli there, extending the Tiger lead.
Josie Napoli, the transfer from Pacific Lutheran up in the Northwest Conference. Robin swats it away, but TLU will still keep it. She led Pacific Lutheran in scoring, was an all-conference honorable mention, but she transferred down to Trinity, a more favorable environment for her, a competitive program that she wanted to be a part of, and she has surprised and shined with 11 points per game, one of the best offensive players this Tiger team has. Jones down to Wilson. Wilson in the paint. Goes left and can't get it off the glass. Robbins wrestling for it. And as she goes down, it's a foul on Texas Lutheran. Sotelo there was the one wrapped up with Robbins.
Yeah, and it's going to be a chippy game because when the teams are as close geographically as these two are, the rivalry is just a little bit tougher.
And particularly between these women's basketball programs, it seems like every time they step on the court, it's a tough, tough test. Milton, top of the key, short, but a foul before the shot went up. As how many bodies have we seen on this court already as we talk about the chippiness and these teams and how tough they play each other?
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of bodies hitting the floor in this game, and it's going to be chippy, it's going to be defensive, and it's going to matter all these points that are being scored.
And then another foul before the ball is brought in, so that's going to be 3 fouls on Texas Lutheran in the first 2 minutes of the second quarter.
Number 3, Jimmy on the top right, first. Rebound number 3.
Napoli receives it from Robbins, decides to go right, finds Shipley, who moves with her hand the traffic that she wants. Robbins from the corner, off the side of the rim, and the board cleared by number 30, Presley. TLU didn't love some of the no calls there. They thought they had something, but instead Wilson finds an open Sotelo, rims out, rebound got by Presley. And a foul called on Robbins as just about every possession now, someone is hitting the deck. Everyone laying it all out on the line. Robbins there not even looking where her hands were going, trying to find the basketball. Sotelo stops, pops, can't get it to go, and then runs into Robbins. Boy, Robbins and Sotelo right now, not the best of friends.
Definitely not. It's been a couple of collisions, a couple of times that they've ended up on the floor now, and we are only in the beginning of the second quarter. Things are only going to heat up from here.
7:45 to go. The pace has slowed down in this quarter as the fouls have dominated the day. Trinity holding on to a 13-point lead. Not a single Tiger is still when they don't have the ball. Shipley finds Putnam, who fakes, now cuts inside, finds Robbins coming in. I don't know how she handled that pass. Shot clock down to 5. Robbins in the opposite corner. Not going to fall. Putnam gets the board, but she steps out of bounds, so TLU will take it. Presley has to jump to get the pass over, and that's as clear as day. A travel called on Sarahi Jones. The entire gym saw it. And for Texas Lutheran, turnover 13, so they've got as many turnovers as they do points.
Yeah, and right now, Trinity may be getting a boost from the men's team that's in the stands right now with the Thunder Sticks.
They play later tonight, so early, supporting their women counterparts. Robbins going strong to the lane, won't get it, but a blocking foul called on Texas Lutheran.
And Milton lost her shoe.
That's where we're at. Losing shoes, flying on the floor. These teams want it badly. A trip to the championship on the line.
Maggie Robbins for 2.
There you see Milton securing everything back into place as Robbins gets her first free throw to go. Maggie Robbins, the junior from Plano, Texas, averaging nearly 9 points a game, nearly 5 assists a game, 4 steals, and you already saw her with a block. She fills every category that you can think of on the basketball court, And she's still just a junior. The second free throw, a little short. Merrick able to wipe it. Now she's looking for a teammate. Finds Sansano back in the game for the first time since that missed layup. TLU going fast at first, but they couldn't finish. Now a three from Sansano off the iron. And she's going to need to see one go down soon to build her confidence back up. Shipley, the drop pass to her. Wild on the layup. Napoli into Robbins, but it's intercepted by Presley. Bulldogs coming the other way. Jones stops, gets Presley. Straightaway three. Goes down for Kayla Presley. That's a pair now for Presley, the sophomore from Kyle, Texas. She's a transfer from A&M International, but the Bulldogs keeping their eye off the ball. Let Putnam get an easy lane. Sansano to the mid-range pop. Off the back of the rim, Sansano gets the board. And the Bulldogs will get another opportunity. Presley using Merrick. Now resets. Shot clock down to 10 as Presley holds the ball over her head. Finds Merrick over the smaller Napoli. And that's a matchup they'll take all day long. Denise Merrick at 6'1" over the 5'6" Napoli. Good job by Merrick to be aggressive, sensing the smaller defender. But on the defensive end, no one can stop Ashlyn Milton right now. That is 4 3-pointers made for the senior. Merrick loses handle, gets it to Jones. Jones will pop and shoot. Too strong. Rebound goes to Presley. Lacey will give it a shot now. Hers is too strong as well. And the over-the-back foul called on Jones. The action not stopping for a moment in Calgard Gym as the Tigers up 14 with 5:06 to go.
Yeah, and if you're TLU, you want to slow down the pace of this game right now because it is a fast offensive game. If you're TLU, you want to slow down the pace, make it defensive. Right now, what they're trying to do is keep up with the Tigers scoring, which right now they're doing, but eventually, when this Tiger offense starts to explode, you have to wonder if TLU will be able to keep up.
First free throw ricochets off the rim for Putnam. But you're right, Reed. TLU averaging just 62 points a game. They don't really want to get in an up-and-down fight. They want to grind it out, force the opponent to work for every point, and that's just not what we're seeing right now. Trinity shooting 44% from the line, including a 46% rate from three-point distance. Sansano won't be able to get the pass because the steal maestro is there. Maggie Robbins gets it to Putnam. Has options, bumps into Merrick, and she's going to be called for the charge. Merrick getting into position. We'll get a look at the replay to see if she, in fact, was. Perfect timing as we head to a media timeout, so we'll see Putnam. Merrick's feet may be shifting still a little bit side to side. Always the toughest call in basketball, the block versus the charge. This time, the Bulldogs get the benefit of the doubt. So headed to the media timeout, Trinity 33, TLU 18.
Yeah, and right now, this game, the score doesn't do it justice with how chippy and competitive it has been. The emotions, they're getting higher as this game goes on, and we're halfway through the second quarter. They're only going to get higher from here.
For the Trinity Tigers, a 24-1 overall record. That one loss against Colorado College gave them a boost that they needed, saying we need to have our best game every day, night in, night out, and then being pushed by TLU at home, having to execute late with that Maggie Robbins layup, and then there is still 3 seconds left. Coach Hill made sure to point that out, that it wasn't over by any means after the layup. They still had to stand strong defensively, and they did. They won against Texas Lutheran. He said he could not have orchestrated a better finish to the year to show his team what these games are going to be like moving forward, because for his team, everything they do from this point forward is what's going to be remembered, not what they've done in the past. So they have to make sure to keep their eyes in the present and in the future, not think about what's already happened in the past. Sydney Shaw back in there, relays it to Lauren Sansano as the Bulldogs come out of the media timeout. Trying to make something happen offensively. It'll be Shaw. Her jumper, short. Robbins takes a tumble, but gets it to Putnam, who secures it. And now Robbins will bring it up. And Putnam now, a little two-woman game between Robbins before Milton joins the party. Bailey Timmons newly into the game. Also have Claire Hale, the 5'4 Trinity. Milton drives, rolls it up, won't go. Merrick is battling for the board, then she just throws it away, and it's going to be a push against Sansano. And with 4:14 to go, that's going to be the 6th team foul against Texas Lutheran, which means the rest of the way, the Tigers shoot free throws. First one rolls in for Robbins. Jim quiets down as the free throws go up and in. Both of them made for Robbins, who then gets right back on defense. Timmons joins Hale on the double team. Sansano has nowhere to go right now. Able to get it to Kaylee Criddle, the first time we've called that name. In 3 games we've seen the Bulldogs play in this gym. So Coach Patterson turning to the sophomore. Kayla Presley fouled as she dribbles right. The TLU roster filled with people from the San Antonio area. So combine that with their campus being so close to San Antonio. You've got lots of Bulldogs fans in the stands. Even saw Madison Weisinger of the TLU volleyball team, who won the SCAC championship this past year. TLU beating Trinity in the semifinal to get to the championship game. So the basketball team very much hoping for a repeat. Bulldogs have 4 seconds. Sansano sees the clock now, decides to go, puts it up, and puts it in. Lauren Sansano went into 5th gear as soon as she saw the clock ticking down, and she took care of the rest.
Yeah, absolutely clutch from her right there.
Timmons, one dribble, now to Putnam, jab step in. Robbins fires it to Milton, another Milton 3, not this time. Popped out, who did it last touch? Trinity, so TLU ball. Kayla Presley has had a great offensive start, finds Merrick, who had some room behind her, instead dishes, and Sydney Shaw couldn't finish it. Full court pass, Timmons nearly able to bring it in. Robbins hoping Coach Urban is in the building auditioning for the football team. That was a pretty spot-on pass.
Yeah, we're almost calling a touchdown right there.
Now Robbins from a little bit of a closer distance, still a heave to Shipley. Tigers have plenty of shot clock to work with here. Napoli uses the Hale screen, now pops it out to Shipley. Napoli receives it once more, thinks about the 3, cuts inside, unable to bank it home, but there's Claire Hale to clean it for the moment, but her putback is off as well. And then a loose ball foul called on Trinity. The fight was there, but they just couldn't get 2 points on that trip.
And right now in the stands, the Colorado College Tigers women's team have entered the building.
Colorado College has a matchup with Schreiner, and the winner of that one faces the winner of this one. As right now we have the point guard Sansano going against the bigger Shipley. Shipley has her hands up. Now the ball over to Presley, crisscrossing inside. Gets it to Sansano, puts up the 3 off the back of the rim, but Criddle gets the board, and the TLU offense continues to operate. A step back for Sansano, still not going to fall, but look at Merrick fight, and she'll get a trip to the line, and she's hobbling a little bit, Denise Merrick. As we mentioned, that TLU volleyball team, it's only fitting that she gets to the line because she was a major part of that volleyball team, in fact being named to the all-tournament team for the TLU volleyball squad. And I asked Coach Patterson about it. I've talked to Coach Phyllis Fowler about it, the volleyball head coach. Have you ever seen anyone do it at this level so well like Denise Merrick? And Coach Patterson says, honestly, never as good as her. For her to balance volleyball, basketball, and her tough academics that she takes tremendous pride in is just something that is unseen and unheard of, and they're so proud of Denise Merrick, who will here try to knock down a couple of free throws, but she is off on the first.
And when we think about how hard it is to play one sport, but to be good at and excel at two sports, it really shows what kind of athlete she is.
Absolutely, and she gets that second one to go. So TLU is down 14 with 2:06 left in the first half. Trinity 0 for their last 4 from the floor, and they haven't scored in 2 minutes, so there's that Texas Lutheran defense stepping up as we typically expect them to after a slow start from them. Here, Signs loses the ball, grabs handle of it, and then Napoli able to recover it from Sansano. Napoli, the 3, too much on it. Elaine King gets the offensive board, though, and now Trinity will get a second chance. Shipley, another 3. Off the backboard, no good. Sydney Shaw, the tie-up. White ball. And yesterday we saw a very confusing moment in one of the quarterfinal matches. No one knew who the jump ball belonged to, and it brought the conversation on. Why is it called a jump ball if they don't jump? Well, we're going to call it a held ball now, which is the official term we have found out from the stat keepers and the great SIDs we have here. So since they don't jump, we will not call it a jump ball.
Yeah, we're going to call it held ball. Makes sense. They're holding it. No jumping involved.
2 shots on deck for Maggie Shipley. Her first free throw bounces off the rim. Tigers now have shot 10 free throws and 11th on the way. They've made 7 of them. Now 8. Merrick right back in there after a quick breather. Still looks a little hobbled on that leg. But these Bulldogs need her. And she gets the inbound, spins, finds Presley. Sansano now has 3 Bulldogs. Over to Criddle, who tries the 3. Nearly went. Instead, an outlet pass to Napoli. Gets it to Shipley. Stops on a dime and now resets. Robbins straight ahead. Turns. Finds Elaine King all alone, but she can't close it down. A great delivery by Maggie Robbins, who then strips it away from Presley, and here come the Tigers. Under a minute to go, Trinity up 15. Annika Signs over Merrick. That one sails over the rim. So the offense has slowed down on both sides. Trinity, no shots made from the floor in nearly 5 minutes. For TLU, it's been 3. Really relying on those free throws to keep this score where it's at. As Annika Signs fouls TLU. That's Emmy Saint Laurent, another freshman that we have not seen when TLU's come to town. So Coach Patterson already inserting Kaylee Criddle, Emmy Saint Laurent. And Saint Laurent will get the 2 free throws. The freshman from the Woodlands, Texas, puts in the first one. Able to get one to roll in after hitting the front of the rim. And Trinity could hold on to the final possession of the half if they so choose. TLU, though, goes with the double team and forces the turnover. Coach Patterson fired up there on the sideline. We get a great look at him. He has been standing up all game long, directing traffic. Kaylee Criddle just in front of the three-point line. Won't go anyway. Napoli fighting for the board. Robbins outlets to Shipley. He's got another Tiger in Annika Signs. She waits, puts it off the glass, and puts it in. Robbins steals it. Shipley puts it up and nearly gets it to go to finish the half. That would have blown the roof off of Calgard. But the energy is plenty inside Calgar Gym, the home of the Trinity Tigers, and the Tigers defending their jungle right now. A 38-23 lead as the press from Trinity has caused 17 TLU turnovers.
Yeah, and this Trinity defense is showing their might, they're showing their roar, and for TLU, right now, they have to go into the half and discuss a way how to stop this Trinity offense from lowering their pace so TLU can grind one out in the second half.
So right now the Cats are on top. Will the Dogs bite back in the second half? You have to tune in to Tiger Network to find out. Just a 15-minute halftime, so don't go very far. Welcome back to Tiger Network, where the host Trinity Tigers have a 38-23 advantage over the Texas Lutheran Bulldogs. Trinity led by Ashlyn Milton with 12 points in the first half. Meanwhile, Texas Lutheran led by their freshman point guard Lauren Sansano, who had 8, but she struggled there at the end of the half after missing a layup. So we'll see what kind of confidence she has as the Bulldogs will start the half with the basketball.
Yeah, and Maggie Robbins, the great pickpocket that she is, 7 steals in that first half. She's been doing pretty much everything on the court for the Tigers.
Early 3 from Lacey, nowhere close. Milton gathers the board, has it poked away from behind though, and it'll stay with TLU. A very early 3 in the shot clock for Kaylee Lacey, who Coach Patterson has told me is such a good shooter. But they want her to shoot more, and so that must have been a message in the locker room. Skirka doubled, so she has to back it out. Mulkey now in possession of it. Mulkey has been a whole lot quieter than she was yesterday, has her pass robbed by Robbins. There's steal number 8. Talked to Kaylee Mulkey yesterday after the win against Dallas, and she played in 37 minutes out of 40 possible minutes against Dallas. Asked her, were you a little tired? And she says, yes, but I had to step up for my team as Putnam drains the 3 for Trinity to put their lead up to 18. But maybe those 37 minutes playing a part in Kaylee Mulkey being scoreless right now, and she has only played in 6 minutes thus far as Claire Hale takes it away, and it's a 2-on-1, but Claire Hale takes it by herself and puts it down for 2. The lead, just like that, 20 for the Tigers as Robbins hops up to nearly get steal number 9.
Yeah, and Claire Hale showing how good of an athlete that she is, how strong she is, that she can just burst through a double team like that and get points on the board for the Tigers.
Robbins pokes it away, but the Bulldogs keep possession of it, and here is Mulkey trying to get her first points, but it is stripped down and out. It'll belong to the Tigers. 21 turnovers, which means we had 17 at the end of the half for Texas Lutheran. That's 4 already in the first 1 minute and 23 seconds of this second half.
Yeah, and when you're playing a team like the Tigers, you cannot afford that many turnovers in such a short amount of time because the Tigers will make you pay for it.
TLU turns it over 17 times a game. That's best in the conference. They rarely turn it over, but they're going up against a Trinity team that we mentioned early on forces over 31 a game. Right now it has been all maroon and white. Napoli looking for help, has it in Putnam, who is then pushed from behind. We see the replay here, Putnam wrapping around. And there were 3 Bulldogs there in the vicinity. Hale down low, not fazed by the defense of Skirka. Milton now trapped on the baseline, floats it up to Napoli, who's deep. Thought about the 3, instead takes it much closer, takes the bump, and is going to be called for the offensive foul, which she just kind of shrugs away. You see Sansano getting there in position. That's the second charge the Bulldogs have been able to draw. Lacey finds Mulkey, dribbling in between Robbins and Hale. And there's going to be a foul called on the reach-in. The foul goes against Hale, so she'll sub out for Maggie Shipley. There was an interesting little moment at the very beginning of the game. We saw Maggie Shipley actually start, but then she was subbed out immediately for Claire Hale. We'll have to ask Coach Hill what that was all about. As another foul goes against Trinity, that's 2 now. And you don't want to send this TLU team to the line very often. They're top in the SCAC with their percentage, especially the ball handler right now. No one better than Sansano. And that's what she did yesterday. 9 of her points very late in the game came as the Bulldogs were able to ice away a win against Dallas. Here she tries a 3, hits the front iron, and the Tigers take care of the board. Putnam cuts inside, has a lane, and seals the deal. She came flying in from beyond the arc, and then Kaylee Lacey steps off the baseline as she tried to pass it in. And it is beginning to unravel for Texas Lutheran, down 22. And they have not scored in this half yet. A 7-0 run by Trinity will force a Texas Lutheran timeout. Coach Patterson not liking what he's seeing right now.
Yeah, and that was a great series for the Tigers right there to get more points on the board. They're leading by 20 right now, and the TLU offense just seems stuck in the mud right now when this Tiger press, full court press defense is at them at every single turn.
You're looking at Troy Patterson, who is in his second year at Texas Lutheran, but just in his first year was named SCAC Coach of the Year after leading Texas Lutheran to their program best 13 wins in conference play. They had a terrific season, and a big part of it, Coach Patterson said, is he was able to be the assistant coach for 4 years before transitioning into that head coaching position. Really credited Mel Dixon, who was the head coach at the time, for allowing him to implement a lot of the system that Patterson wanted as an assistant, so that when he took over as head coach, it was a pretty seamless move into what Patterson wanted as their Bulldog strategy. And so he was able to bring their first year to the SCAC, but then they fell in their first game, that semifinal, unable to get to the championship match, which is what Patterson wants to try to rebound today.
Yeah, and when you can have a good transition like that, that's one of the most difficult things in all of sports, is to have a good transition. And it really shows what he's done with this team, that they can reach the highest of heights.
Milton, pure money today. That is 5 triples for Ashlyn Milton. Matches her season high. She's done it twice, so can she get over the hump today? TLU has some open wood in front. Putnam tries to get there in time, but cannot disrupt the layup of Alexis Morado. Sophomore from Kingsville, Texas, gets into the box score. Her first points of the game. Here's Milton. Jab steps, now gets it over to Robbins. Putnam, the opposite end, before Shipley will get to go to work. Now kicks it to Napoli, and Robbins all alone floats it up and in. Double digits now for Maggie Robbins with 10 points. She's got 8 steals, got 6 rebounds. Don't say we didn't warn you. Keep an eye on it. Robbins gets in position, and she's going to be called for the foul, actually. She thought she got there in time to force the ball out, but the official had other thoughts. Second team foul on Maggie Robbins, so not a ton to worry about yet. It is the 14th foul on Trinity, though, so the next one will send Texas Lutheran to the line. Claire Hale will give Maggie Robbins a breather, and she deserves every single round of applause that she gets as she takes a seat. Tapia, face guarded by Putnam. Gets the pass into Daviana Jones, and Daviana Jones able to finish strong. She has grown so much this year, the freshman from San Antonio. And that's going to be a carry on Maggie Shipley. Tried to fake out the Bulldogs, but she's going to turn it over in the meantime. The floater to Sansano has the Bulldogs 2-on-2. Sansano takes it herself and puts it down for 2.
Great initiative by Sansano there. She was wide open on the inbounds, and she's able to get more points on the board for the Bulldogs.
That layup allows Sansano to become the first Bulldog in double digits. 10 points, also 3 rebounds. And she gets the free throw to go. She has made 25 consecutive free throws. She shoots 92% from the charity stripe. After her 9 yesterday, she officially qualifies nationally, making her the second best free throw shooter in the entire country. So that is not who you want at the free throw line if you're the Tigers. Claire Hale, stepping in from the three-point line, goes rumbling, tumbling down, and it's going to be a blocking foul on Texas Lutheran. That is Juliana Tapia trying to stand in there at 5'3". But the 5'10" frame of Claire Hale went right over her.
Number 2.
And now the officials want to make sure to take care of the floor, making sure it's not slippery. And now it's go time. Trinity up 20 with 5:40 to go. Shipley hesitates, out to Hale. Pops up the 3, little short, bounces out. And then a foul on the floor as Putnam fought for the board. It'll stay here with the maroon and white. Milton screens for Shipley, now goes to the top of the key. Step back 3. Too much on it for Milton, but there's Hale to clean it up. The putback, it'll drop in. And what did we say in the first half? Bodies everywhere on the floor. This time it was Putnam, it was Tapia, and the official having a conversation with both of them saying, get up and stop fighting with each other. It's getting chippy. There's Tapia and Putnam again. Get it to Sansano. Over to Jones. And it goes. Daviana Jones. What a difficult job to stop in place after the pass, but she did it and now tries to complete the and one.
Yeah, and right now the Bulldogs, 4 for their last 4 shots, maybe catching a bit of fire here in the middle of the third quarter.
Free throw, good for Jones. And the freshman phenoms for Texas Lutheran, Daviana Jones and Lauren Sansano, helping keep the Bulldogs in it in this third quarter. They're still down 19, but it looked like it was going to get away even more early in this quarter. Will the Tigers respond? Shipley going left before turning around, loses the dribble before finding Napoli from distance. Off the side iron, and Sansano clears it, but now is doubled, so she has to heave it, and she finds a Bulldog with Merrick now all alone. She'll take care of that, no problem. And TLU, 5 for their last 5. Putnam spins around, count it for Putnam.
Yeah, big points for Trinity there. Trying to answer every Bulldog score with the score of their own.
And with 4:15 to go, it means we've reached the media timeout. Trinity 54, Texas Lutheran 35. It's a 19-point lead for the maroon and white. You'll get some good look at the replays there. That last one was Putnam getting to the line. Milton has been absolutely pure from beyond the three-point line as well. And Reed, this is a Trinity team that has high, high hopes. Getting to the Elite 8 a year ago, falling to Amherst in a heartbreaking matchup over there in Massachusetts. It was Amherst's home court, so it made that even tougher. Just a couple of minutes away from a potential Final Four. This is a team that wants to not only get there, but win it all, and they think they can do it.
Yeah, and when you look at this team, how deep the depth is, how good the skill players are, it's hard to make an argument to why they can't do it. I mean, you're seeing it on full display right here. The best defense in the SCAC and TLU being taken to task by these Trinity Tigers. It shows that when they play well and the offense starts clicking, they can just get past the toughest of defenses.
And that depth you talk about, Cam Hill says it allows him to really absorb bruises, the little nicks that come throughout a season. No one is quite fully healthy at this point in the year because you go through so much. But since Cam Hill trusts just about every single person on this roster, it never becomes a problem if someone has to step out because everyone that he calls, he confides in to take care of business. And Putnam, one of them, who has been starting all year long, completes the three-point play and puts Trinity back up by 20.
And Robbins back on the court, the versatile player that she is.
That's going to be a travel for Daviana Jones, trying to go too quick. Chance if you can't do that coming from the Trinity student section. A great crowd on hand between TLU and Trinity, two schools separated by just 30 minutes, so we were expecting a big one, and we're so happy to have both teams well in attendance. Robbins, Shipley, thought about the three, instead steps in, and Maggie Robbins is shoved to the floor by Denise Merrig, and Robbins can't help but smile. She gets some help getting back up. Team foul number 5 on TLU, which means Maggie Robbins shoots 2. Great job by the cleanup crew yesterday. We saw the officials have to do it a couple times on their own, but full staff on hand now on a Saturday. Nobody in class. Glad you can join us for the first game. I know you had to miss it even though you desperately wanted to be here, but American presidency takes priority sometimes.
Yeah, I got to learn about those Federalist Papers.
Absolutely. I wonder if they knew about how great Maggie Robbins has been this year. I don't know if Alexander Hamilton caught wind of that or not.
We'll see. He sang a lot in that play, so.
Whether they hear it or not, those in CalGuard will hear it, and those watching Tiger Network are very familiar with what she has done all year. She continues to stack up the points now firmly into double digits. And she's just a few rebounds and a few steals away from something special yet again. She's at her best when she's defending as well. And there's Shipley at half court taking the ball away, but Sansano recovers. Since the ball was tipped, there was no 10-second violation. In fact, that's exactly what they appear to be clarifying. They're saying Trinity took enough possession of it to reset the shot clock. So it's at 25 now to start this possession instead of 15. Shipley, hand up to guard. Now Merrig right back to Sansano, but Shipley all over her. Robbins in front of Merrig. The bigger Merrig wins again. Twice now we have seen Merrig over Napoli and now over Robbins. When she has had a mismatch, she has taken advantage.
Yeah, and that's what makes her so good, that she can use her stature to her advantage and just kind of bounce the smaller players out of her way.
10 points now for Denise Merrig. Joins Sansano in double digits. Robbins trying to set the table, but Sotelo all over her, able to find Milton though, and Milton banks it down. Sansano finds Jones. The freshman connection won't work because Hale had something to say about it. The block gives Trinity the possession. And here come the maroon and white before Shipley taps the brakes for a moment. Now Milton finds Robbins. Guns it into Shipley before Hale. Back to Shipley. Shipley to her left. That's where she's best. It is a thing of beauty when Maggie Shipley decides to go left with a full steam ahead. And she did it there. Sansano tries to Euro step in. Now the Bulldogs swing it around. It's Sotelo, too much on the three. Sansano able to come out with the rebound. So the smallest player on the court right now, coming up with some big boards. Now you've got Merrig on Milton. Milton's defense won't work on Merrig, who is going to town right now. She is at her season high, and she'll just keep growing it.
Yeah, and like we said before, she just uses her physical ability to just bounce unsuspecting defenders out of the way, force points in.
Merrig had not scored double-digit points all year after doing so 10 times in her first 2 seasons with Texas Lutheran, but now she's at a season-high 12, and this free throw makes it 13. And it's just amazing because With Texas Lutheran going so deep in the volleyball season, qualifying for the NCAA tournament, Merritt couldn't join the basketball team until the season had already started. So she was pretty slow to start the year, didn't have a good start, but as the season has gotten into the home stretch, Coach Patterson has heavily relied on the junior. So she's done a tremendous job here to keep TLU in this game. They're down 20, and they're going to foul Shipley, headed to the line once again. We highlighted a magic number at the top of the broadcast. TLU has held 18 opponents to under 60 points, and the Tigers have never scored fewer than 60 points. Well, it's the third quarter, a minute and a half to go, and the Tigers are already above 60 points.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can get higher than what they scored in the game against TLU, and they just did.
They certainly just did. That 61-59 victory is the closest the Tigers have come to 60 points or fewer. But the offense has been clicking a whole lot more against TLU this time. And now the student section stands up with the defense chance. Wilson able to hold on to it. Out to Mulkey, who continues to be shut down. It'll be Sotelo from distance. Can't get it in. Shipley has to stop for a moment, gets it to Putnam, and now she'll calmly bring it up the floor. Napoli, blocked by Skirka. Putnam dives for the ball, but Skirka comes up with it. And the Bulldogs have 4 on 3. Sotelo has the ball. She pivots, finds Presley from the wing. Short. Putnam gets the board, and a missed opportunity for TLU. Just 30 seconds remain. Trinity up 21 over their rival from Seguin. Shipley looking straight into the eyes of Skirka. Kicks it out to Annika Saenz, but an offensive foul before that will give it back to Texas Lutheran. Presley caught in the backcourt. Able to get it to Mulkey. Mulkey over to Wilson, and Wilson seals the deal down low. The clock running out. Putnam won't be able to put it up. So Texas Lutheran finishes the quarter with a layup, but it was Trinity with the 24-20 advantage, growing their lead to 19 as we head to the fourth quarter. The semifinal looking good for the home team, but TLU has 10 minutes to flip the script.
Yeah, and we'll see if TLU can stop the pace that the Tigers are going right now. And the biggest thing, the biggest story for the game is the 23 turnovers by TLU compared to the 12 turnovers by the Tigers. That's really been the difference maker in the game.
It certainly has, because you look at TLU shooting 38%. That is right around their average, so that's what they're accustomed to. But since they're able to put up fewer shots than Trinity, it really hurts them. And you look at the three-point percentage, that is where things really become drastic in the differences. Trinity shooting 38% from 3. That is 8 for 21. Meanwhile, Texas Lutheran just 2 of 17 for a percentage of 12. And so those three-point buckets just not falling for TLU, it makes a comeback like this even more difficult.
Yeah, and we'll see coming out of this stoppage between quarters to see what Coach Patterson has inspired his team with, and see if they can close that 19-point gap and get back right into Trinity's wheelhouse.
It was a very similar story yesterday for TLU. They knocked down just 2 of 9 from deep. The difference, though, their defense really shutting down Dallas, so they were able to win their quarterfinal matchup. But they were only able to win it by 9 because this TLU offense struggles to get going in big runs. They'll need a big one in this fourth quarter, and it'll help to start with a turnover here. They force the Tigers to lose the ball, and Kaylee Mulkey looking for one last quarter of a season that has been so good for her. triple team on Wilson leads to a foul. Brianna Wilson, the freshman from Austin, Texas. Coach Patterson has said Wilson brings a lot of size that they love, so she has seen more time late in the season. What she'll need to do as her career at TLU continues, just add a little polish, and Coach Patterson really thinks that she can be one of the best post players in the SCAC. Good on that first free throw. And both are good for number 13. So the lead is 17 with 9.5 to go. Putnam in the corner, trying to find someone to get it to, rolls it away, and it's out of bounds. TLU basketball. The defense ramping up as the Bulldogs try to save their season. Swatted away by Robbins, but it'll stay with Texas Lutheran. Merrig not off the court for very long. She replaces Skirka. So Shaw and Skirka, the seniors, not seeing a ton of time, and Robbins on the floor cannot believe she's been called for a block. That's her 4th personal foul. Shipley rips it away. Goes right this time, and it's just as right for Maggie Shipley. She joins the double-digit parade now with Putnam and Robbins along with Milton. Hale absorbs all the space Wilson had, so Mulkey now has to deal with Putnam. The switch to Shipley. Wilson back in it in the heart of the defense. Merrig trying to take on Hale. She does, but Hale helps knock it loose. Then a held ball. That's going to be called before the shot clock violation, so it'll be interesting to see. Let's see there. Hale got enough of it looked like. And then the held ball. Officials discussing exactly what to do here, because the shot clock was just running out as the held ball was called. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So they're going to take a look at the time. And look at your screen, folks. Look at how full this gym is. That's one of the sides of the gym that sometimes doesn't fill up because everyone's on the student side. But it makes us so happy to see people tuning into this great SCAC championship weekend.
Yeah, and it's great basketball. It's worth tuning into. And right now, this game in the last quarter, it's looking to be another exciting finish and what's been a great weekend of basketball so far.
And there's been so much action in this game alone that it kind of makes you think, oh, okay, when this is over, we'll take a break. But quite the opposite. This is just the beginning of an amazing day of basketball we have planned for you. Right after this, it'll be Schreiner against Colorado College, and then a bit of a break in the middle before the men take the floor again. St. Thomas against Schreiner. Schreiner having a really good day yesterday. Both their teams will appear today. And then we'll wrap it up with the Trinity men against Centenary. So we hope you don't go anywhere, because a full day of basketball is ahead, and the officials still taking a look at this clock situation. So we'll stick around with you. 8:23 to go. Trinity 64, Texas Lutheran 45. From talking to these coaches, everyone is just so excited to be here, and everyone's been very complimentary of each other as well. Even though the tensions can get high, compliments have been raining down, and it was your idea, Reed, to ask coaches to say one nice thing about another program. Where did you get that thought?
Well, I just thought it would be nice to see, we like coaches talking about their own teams. What do coaches have to say about other programs?
The coaches loved it. Every time they heard it, most of them gave a giggle. They were so happy to have to answer that because they said, honestly, we can't just say one thing about one program. We can say something nice about every program. And Coach Patterson of TLU had high praise for Kat Menendez of Colorado College, saying she has turned that program into a dynamo. And Menendez returned the favor. She had high praise for Coach Patterson. As out of the timeout, just a few seconds on that shot clock, TLU put it up quickly and weren't able to get it to go. But so neat to hear coaches talking well about each other. The respect at the highest possible level. Napoli turns it over here. TLU trying to explode in these final 8 minutes to pull off a monumental comeback. Sansano will be a big part of it if it happens, but Presley throws it right into the hands of Claire Hale. Shipley finds Milton in the corner. Milton does it again. That's a season high. 6 3-pointers made for Ashlyn Milton.
Yeah, great three there. And the Tigers have to be wary of the fouls. The only player who has less than 3 fouls on the court for the Tigers right now is Maggie Shipley.
3 rolls off, but the offensive board cleaned up by Brianna Wilson. There's that size that we were talking about. Using it to finish down low. Here's Milton. Why not again? Just pops out. As Ashlyn Milton feeling better than ever. She had a few games in a row there at the end of the season where her three-point shot wasn't quite falling. In fact, she was 1 for 10 in the last 3 games before going for 22 against Southwestern in the finale. And so that really helped get her confidence back. And as Coach Hill said, this team stepped up when Ashlyn was struggling just a little bit. They were able to rally around and find other ways to win, and that is exactly what this team has done all year long. But it seems that those 3 games were all Milton needed to get back in order. Wilson can't get the putback, but a third opportunity is not taken care of by Presley. The Bulldogs have to be hitting themselves in the head. That's about 3 or 4 layups that were easy to convert that they just have not. And on the other end, you have Shipley finishing plays like that, and that's really been the difference, along with the turnovers, is just TLU not taking care of the opportunities they've been given.
Yeah, and when you play a team like Trinity, I've said time and time again, you have to take advantage of those opportunities, because when you play the top team in the conference, they're going to take advantage of your mistakes, and you have to take advantage in kind of theirs if you want to keep up with them.
Totally right, Reed. This is not just the best team in the conference. This is still the number 4 ranked team in the entire country, according to WBCA. D3Hoops.com says they're the number 5 team, but either way, this is a top 5 team in all of Division 3. If you're going to beat them inside their gym, everything has to go perfectly, and that has just not been the case for the Bulldogs. They get a bucket there, Juliana Tapia, but it is 70-49, a 21-point advantage for Trinity. We had a feeling they wanted to show up against this Bulldog team that took them to the wire a week ago, and show up they have. Putnam guarded closely by Tapia, has to get it to Shipley. Shot clock at single digits. Shipley falls behind, able to get it to Putnam, and Putnam nearly able to get it in. Audible gasp from the crowd. Merrig receives the pass, takes her time, rolls it home, and another and one coming for Tanise Merrig. To go along with her double-digit points, she also has 8 rebounds. And the star just continues to shine from Seguin. She looks so tired, putting in so much effort. And we keep talking about it, but it's just so impressive. A volleyball star, a basketball star, she truly does it all.
Yeah, she really does. And right now, 15 points and 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds away from a double-double herself. She's been quite the star for TLU in this game.
With 4:54 to go, the final media timeout of the day, Trinity 70, TLU 51. There are 3 seniors on this Texas Lutheran team: Sydney Shaw, Taylor Skirka, and Kaylee Lacey, all of them key contributors and key components. But at the end of the day, Texas Lutheran is a very young team. We've highlighted Cinsano, we've highlighted Daviana Jones, who are just freshmen, and the whole roster is riddled with freshmen and sophomores, and so this is just beginning for TLU. They've been in the semifinal for so many years in a row now, haven't been able to climb that hump though since 2019. That's the last time they won the championship, but it's clear that the future is bright in Seguin.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to get this great experience here in this tournament as the years go on to see how TLU develops and how they contend with the other top teams in the SCAC.
And that is the question. Of course, they show they can beat Colorado College, the #2 team in this tournament. But the question is, when will TLU take over Trinity, the #1 team? And it hasn't been recently. The Tigers have won 9 in a row over TLU. The last time Texas Lutheran won is when they won the championship. In 2019, the championship match of the SCAC tournament was TLU beating Trinity inside their home gym in Seguin. But ever since then, it has been maroon and white winning the fight. And that really becomes the question for everyone in the tournament. Can you beat the Trinity Tigers? And it becomes even more difficult when you have to do it inside CalGuard Gym. Shipley hops inside. Natalie Anderson gets it to Napoli, who has 1 second left. Her 3 short. And the board goes to Lacey. Putnam flies by, so the Bulldogs now have a little bit of an advantage if they can hurry. The kick out to Lacey. Her 3-pointer off the front rim. But guess who again? Merrick. The board, but no shot up. Instead, Wilson will try it. Still no good. Milton finally clears it for Trinity. Tapia wanted a travel. Instead, it's a foul. And now there's under 4 minutes to go. And that was a perfect example of what we've seen all day. Not easy looks that time, but if you're going to come back from this big deficit, you have to convert those, and TLU just unable to.
Yeah, it's been the story of the entire game, along with the turnover deficit, with TLU having 25 turnovers compared to Trinity's 15. They can't take the opportunities the Tigers give them, and they keep giving the Tigers opportunity to score more points.
Shipley, top of the key, was in her mind. Instead, a spin in the lane finds Putnam. She decides to drive, a big collision and a blocking foul on Tapia, who has spent a majority of her day on that court. That's her 4th foul, and it seems like every time we've said there's a tie-up, she has been in the middle of it. The sophomore from San Antonio, O'Connor High School product, certainly has family in the stands, and they have to be proud of the effort she has put forward. Napoli drops it down to Shipley. She takes a fall and has to be helped up by Sky O'Rourke as well as Josie Napoli there. Basketball not for the faint of heart, Reed.
Certainly not. And you see the point deficit. This game has felt closer than it actually is with how chippy it's been. And with the tensions rising higher as the game goes on. There hasn't been a moment where it seems like the game's cooled down at all.
Tigers taking their time. They're going to have to put it up now, though. Shipley with 1 second. Shot clock violation as it did not hit the rim. At least that's what the side official said, but now getting some help. Hard to tell from our angle at our first look. And the officials will take a timeout to review it. So with 3:02 to go, Trinity 70, TLU 52. We'll take a quick break on Tiger Network before the final stretch of the game. After a lengthy review, the officials decide that the ball did hit the rim, so the Tigers will get a side out with 20 seconds to go rather than the shot clock violation. Although, just wait a second now, Troy Patterson says, check something again, and now another discussion being had on the sideline. But these Trinity Tigers, 3:02 away from making it to the SCAC championship match for the 12th straight year. Cam Hill in his 11th season means he has never not advanced to that championship match. Trinity continues to be the standard on the women's basketball side in this conference.
Yeah, and it's just so difficult to be that consistently good. And what is this, their 5th or 6th year that they're the 1 seed in the tournament? Not only have they consistently made the championship, they've consistently been at the top of the conference year after year after year.
It's been 8 consecutive years as the number 1 seed, the same number of championships they have in this conference, 8 of them. They'll try to add 9 if they can secure their place in tomorrow's game. TLU not wanting to go down without a fight, however. They've got 3 minutes and they're down 18. Tapia going in a hurry. Her layup won't go. Merrick battling for the board, gets it. Sansano has to stop in her tracks, finds a flying in Tapia, and she banks it in. And for Tanise Merrick, that offensive board gives her her first double-double of the year. 16 points, 10 rebounds. A phenomenal showing for the junior from Spring Branch, Texas. Shipley loses the ball, and TLU forces a turnover. The deficit is 16. But they're giving it all they have. Sansano loses it for a moment, now recovers, shuffles it to Wilson. Sansano has room. Now Lacey interfered with Wilson, but then Wilson over to Merrick, who will go to work on Napoli, has plenty of room, and nearly converts another one to give a 3-point chance. Instead, 2 free throws for Merrick, who has been the star of the afternoon for Texas Lutheran.
Yeah, and Merrick has a double-double now. 16 points, 10 rebounds. She's truly been the star for this Texas Lutheran Bulldog squad.
Kayla Presley newly back into the game. She hit a pair of 3-pointers early. First one rolls in for Merrick. She had 36 kills across 3 games for the volleyball team. And she's doing her part with 17 points now after that missed free throw and a double-double. Will it be enough? It doesn't look like it. Trinity holding on to a 15-point lead, and TLU as of now not fouling with 1:40 left. Now there's a reach-in foul with 14 left on the shot clock. That's TLU's 5th foul, so it will indeed send Josie Napoli to the line. Napoli has been relatively quiet in the point column, but she's doing a whole lot else. 3 assists and 2 rebounds, also a steal. 1 for 9 from the floor, and a total of 6 points now, averaging 11, but still doing her part as the point guard for these Tigers. Really running the point alongside Robbins as well, and you have Shipley often carrying the ball. You never really know who's in charge because these together Tigers rely on each other to win. And Troy Patterson calling a timeout with 1:30 left. Trinity 71, TLU 55. Right now it was the Bulldog faithful giving their team a big cheer, trying to will them on and encourage them in what has no doubt, regardless of the result here, been a fantastic season for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, not a lot to be unhappy about if you're a Bulldogs fan. Great season so far, and they're going to look to finish strong here with 1:30 left. And Trinity, they've really shown why they are the 1 seed in this tournament. They have just had the Bulldogs pinned from minute 1.
The ovation continues from the black and gold faithful. And right now you have the seniors, Skirka and Shaw, in there. So Coach Patterson, no doubt, wanting to give them some more minutes in what could be their final career game.
Number 23, Sky O'Rourke.
He called Taylor Skirka and Sydney Shaw a combination that is the glue of TLU. Nothing that they do would be possible without these seniors. And Skirka's first free throw drops in, high-fives her teammates, saying that they just know everything they do. So they're in the starting lineup more nights than not, as Shaw's putback won't go. Even if they're not filling up the box score, he trusts them to know where to be in the right spots, run the right plays. So they're really an extension of him as a coach. TLU showing no indication of fouling as we reach the 1-minute mark. Trinity up by 15. Goes to Elaine King, has it stripped away. Jump ball, nope, held ball. Have to correct ourselves, we're gonna stick to it, held ball. And we say it again, Juliana Tapia, the one on the floor. She's just a sophomore, Sansano the freshman, Jones the freshman, some of the key contributors that will try to fill up the doghouse over in Seguin for years to come. Napoli rips it away as Merrick tried to get the pass in there. The outlet to Signs. Now O'Rourke tries to get it. Does. Has a lane and was blocked by Skirka, but it was a foul. And you see right there Skirka saying sorry to O'Rourke for what was a little bit of a violent block. Skirka from New Braunfels, Texas, a Steele High School product. Shaw from Lockhart, Texas, the barbecue capital of the state. And Lacey from Pflugerville, Texas. Those are the 3 seniors making this final walk off the court. You never quite know with COVID eligibility allowing people to come back for extra years. But either way, they have left their mark on this program. And despite falling just short, have plenty to be proud of. Sansano trying to get the ball in the bucket one more time. She does. 13 points and 5 rebounds. And Tapia again on the floor. I have to keep returning to the story because it fits this team so well, Reed. The Bulldogs in the 1920s named the Bulldogs because they wanted them to be tenacious. They wanted them to fight and be strong. The women's teams were initially known as the Amazons and then the Bullets, but they joined the men's team being the Bulldogs later in the century. And if you can say one thing about this women's basketball team for TLU, they are certainly tenacious.
Yep. It's a simple origin, but it is very effective. And they have been very tenacious in this game. They've been tenacious all season long.
Napoli hits her free throws. The lead up to 17. Skirka's shot tipped. And another foul as the whistles have been aplenty in these last several minutes. And Merrick doubling over has looked to be in a little bit of pain all game long, but she has not let it affect her game. Add another point to the tally for Merrick. With every single one she puts down, she adds to her season high. There's another. So 19 points for Denise Merrick. O'Rourke battling through the defense. She's going to be fouled by Presley. And she will head to the line. Sky O'Rourke, the first year from Austin, Texas, rolls in her first free throw. That's her third point of the game. Someone who has seen action in every single game. Gets another one to go, and with 9 seconds left, the lead is 17 for Trinity. The #1 seed taking everything they could handle from Texas Lutheran. But at the end of the day, the Tigers defend their jungle. For the 12th straight year, Trinity is going to the SCAC championship.
Yep, and they played so unbelievably well against a iron wall of TLU and their defense, breaking through for 77.
The final score, 77-62. And you have so many people to turn to for key contributors. Ashlyn Milton, a season-high 6 3-pointers knocked in, led to 20 points from her. And then you had 3 other Tigers in double digits. Maggie Shipley with 14, Maggie Robbins with 12 points. She ended up finishing with 8 steals and 6 rebounds, so no double-double or triple-double today, but still a tremendous effort. And then Addie Putnam with 11 points. 4 Tigers in double figures. Shows that no matter who you turn to for the maroon and white, you're bound to get a key contribution.
Yeah, for sure. And like we said before, this Trinity team with so much depth, able to turn to so many people, it makes them such a contender in any game that you put them in.
Now the Tigers await, see if they face the other Tigers of Colorado College or the Shriner Mountaineers. That's what we have on tap in just 25 minutes, so don't go anywhere. And for Tiger fans, tomorrow at noon, the SCAC championship game inside CalGuard Gym. For Reed Rosales, I'm Brian Yanselson. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to stay tuned to Tiger Network the rest of the day.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.